I'm Dan Fitzpatrick at StockMarketMentor.com on Tuesday, July 23rd. And I want to, Travelers announced earnings this morning, and they weren't very good. Stock fell almost 4%. And there was some question in the forum today about whether, maybe this was a good time to buy it. It was an intraday thing, and I had suggested waiting for lower prices, waiting for the stock to stabilize. And that kind of gave me an idea for this video, because I want to tell you what I look at on things like this, and hopefully it'll help you avoid buying a stock when you shouldn't be buying it. Like, let's say you're waiting to buy a stock on weakness, like you're saying, like, gosh, I hope they blow up so that then I can buy the stock. And they do blow up. You rush in to buy the stock only to find out that you really bought a falling knife. So let's see how we could get around this here in Travelers. I'm going to back up to what this looked like the day before, yesterday. So let's say, okay, well, I'm looking to buy the stock. I'm not really sure if they're going to announce good earnings or bad earnings. Then the market opens up and you see they announced poor earnings. The stock gapped down a little bit, but ultimately it wound up closing much lower, right? So this is the analysis that you're going to do before you make a buying opportunity, or before you make a buying decision. First, you're going to look and see where the trading range is. This was the last high, so we would have to assume that this is resistance. Then we would have to look and assume that either this is support down here right at this last low, or the 200-day moving average, which is where the stock bounced. So either way you look at it, whether you're basing it off the bounce of the 200-day moving average or the specific price level, your support's going to be, somewhere around this area in the green box here. So you note that when the stock starts falling. You also know where this logical resistance level is, so you make a decision. It can be a pretty quick one, but it's also a very obvious one. What risk do I bear by standing aside? Do I risk the stock taking off without me? It gapped down. Do I risk it just moving higher? Well, it could, but you can see that. You can also know that there's some resistance here, so it's likely that even if the stock does start moving higher, you're going to get some selling in here about 87, maybe 87.50, because that's just how stocks trade. On the other hand, again, we're just looking at the daily chart. If you look at the daily chart and the stock gaps down a bit, you can see that you would still have, from yesterday's close, a long way for this stock to fall before you could expect any support. So again, this is all done on the daily chart. All you're doing is finding, okay, where's the logical support? Write the number down, 77.50 to 78.50. Write it down, because pretty soon we're going to zoom in here. So that's your support, 77, 78 bucks. Your resistance is up here. That's not relevant once the stock starts opening for trading. So now let's look at it on an intraday basis. Okay, so this is how the stock was trading during the first 5 minutes of trading. Ignore the moving averages. They don't matter here in a 5-minute chart. But the stock gaps down. Now, what's our magic number on the downside? See, now we're not worried after 5 minutes. We're not worried about whether the stock's going to race up without us. Okay, that's not happening. We're just wondering where we're able to buy on the dip, because we want to buy the stock. We're bullish on the stock long term. Even though if you look at the weekly chart, you'll actually see that the stock's in consolidation, but that's for another time. The bottom line is you're looking and saying, okay, well, gosh, maybe this bottom here, wow, this is a great buy point. If the stock gets down to that level again, I'll buy it. Don't do it. What was our level? 77.50 to 78.50. What happens is you wind up getting lost. You wind up getting lost in the intraday mess. You look at this chart. You don't look at the numbers here on the left. And because of that, you wind up losing your frame of reference. You wind up forgetting about the fact that the stock can likely go clear down here before finding support. No, you're just looking at this. And then we move forward The stock goes down further, so that didn't work out. You're sorry you bought, or maybe you're waiting for the first green bar, which is the next one here. You say, all right, now the stock has found a bottom. Now I want to buy this stock on weakness, right? Well, once again, what's our magic number here? We got 83.40 on the downside, 83.80 on the upside. That's our little trading box here. Well, what was our magic level? 77.50 to 78.50. So that's not working. The stock continues to move. And by the way, why do you think the stock is falling at this point? No, there aren't more sellers than buyers. There's always the same number of shares sold as there are bought. The aggressiveness of sellers continues. Nobody else is buying on the dip right here. Everybody's backing away. So when you see a stock fall 5, 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes into the market, it rallies just a little bit and then starts to move lower again, you know that stock is trading in an air pocket and it's going to fall further. You want to back away. You're doing an intraday trade here, even though you're just trying to pick up the stock for a long-term hold. So then you get the consolidation. By now you're in the dead zone here in the middle of the day. Nobody really trades much. There's not going to be a whole lot of move in the stock, and then the stock does what it does for the rest of the day. The idea is that even as we go into the close here, the stock is still where? 82 bucks. What's our magic level? 77.50, 78.50. I'm going to zoom out now to the daily chart. We'll take another look. Okay, so you didn't buy the stock on the way down. Now we're looking at the stock, 82.21. Are we going to buy Travelers now? Well, I will still say that I need to see this level tested. Perhaps it won't come all the way back down to it. Maybe it'll come down a bit and then start bouncing. But this is still way too much room for this stock to move to the downside before finding any kind of natural support. Now, with that said, a stock like this that moves down almost 4% in a day, likely going to get some kind of rebound. If not tomorrow, definitely the next day. They don't just move lower and lower and lower. But if so, just keep something in mind. All these folks that did buy this stock on the way down, wish they hadn't. You're likely going to get some resistance on any kind of rally. So I would steer clear of Travelers. Let the stock settle in before you look to buy some. Also, you look at the weekly chart. Again, is there really any risk that this stock's going to run away from you? Do you really have to buy it right here, right now? And ask yourself that every time you push the button. Is there a particular reason why I got to buy this stock right here, right now? And if you can't think of a reason, then maybe you really need to rethink whether you're buying it. One other thing, a member in our forum mentioned this to me, brought it to my attention. About Netflix. The other day, I guess it was last week, I had mentioned, hey, you can, I think Netflix goes higher. I think ultimately it probably will, but I think Netflix goes higher, and it's something that you can probably hold on into earnings or through earnings. Yesterday, I mentioned in both the Stock Market Mentor and Option Market Mentor forums that I did not have any positions in Netflix, and that I didn't really want to hold it over earnings. It just wasn't trading right. I forget exactly what I said, but the bottom line is I really thought the stock was too extended. It wasn't really acting well, and I just didn't feel like taking that shot. And this member mentioned that, hey, you sent that out in a free video. A lot of those recipients aren't members, so they're not going to hear what you said. And so if anybody followed you on that free chart, video, they didn't know that you came out and said not to hold the stock through earnings, so they probably lost money. And so if that describes you, then I'll give you my sincere apology. I wasn't even thinking about that, and that is my mistake, my fault, and I feel badly about it. One thing I don't do in these videos is try to set people up and give you certain information, and then try to get you to join so that you can get the rest of the information on a stock, like this, for example. That's not my deal. I like these videos to stand on their own because I think, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you're a member or not. What matters is that you're making money and that you're trading better, and that's really what I'm all about here. So if I failed you on that Netflix one, again, I hope you'll accept my apology. Okay, see you next time.